People in Belmere stopped using the north entrance to the subway sometime around November. Nobody officially closed it. The city never put up barricades or caution tape. The escalators still worked most mornings. The fluorescent lights still buzzed overhead with that sickly white hum every station seemed to have. People just stopped going down there. At first there were excuses. Someone got mugged, someone heard screaming, a homeless man died on the platform, a transformer exploded underground and released toxic fumes. Every week the reason changed, but the truth was simpler. Too many people had started seeing the green men. Nobody called them that at first. The earliest descriptions sounded almost ridiculous. A man in a dark green raincoat standing perfectly still beside the tracks. A worker in green coveralls watching from the tunnel entrance. A figure in an old-fashioned green military uniform reflected in the subway windows. Different witnesses described different faces, different heights, different clothing. But every account shared one detail. The skin. Not painted, not sickly, not diseased. Green. The color of deep ocean water, the color of oxidized copper, the color of mold growing beneath wallpaper, and every single witness said the same thing afterward. The green men always smiled. Maribel first heard about them during lunch break. She worked on the 32nd floor of Harrow Financial, spending most days buried beneath spreadsheets and compliance reports no human being should ever have to read, the kind of work that hollowed out your brain slowly. Her co-workers were talking about the subway disappearances. 3 people in 2 weeks. A college student, a nurse, an accountant. No signs of violence, no bodies, no witnesses. Just people who stepped onto late-night platforms and never came back. People are freaking themselves out, Colin said between bites of salad. Every city has urban legends. Urban legends don't get people killed, Priya replied. They don't know anyone's dead. They don't know anyone's alive either. Mara half listened while answering emails. Then Priya lowered her voice. My cousin saw one. The table quieted. Even Colin stopped chewing. She said it was standing across the tracks at Belmere North. Didn't move, didn't blink, just smiling at her. Colin rolled his eyes. People see weirdos in New York every day. She said everybody else on the platform was pretending not to notice it. That got Mara's attention. What do you mean pretending? She asked. Priya shrugged uneasily. She said you could tell they saw it too. Nobody would look directly at it, like if they acknowledged it. She stopped. Like if they acknowledged what? Priya looked down at her untouched lunch. She said she got this feeling it wanted permission. That night, Mara worked late. By the time she left the office, rain hammered the streets hard enough to blur the city lights into watercolor smears. She missed the first train, then the second. By 11:47 p.m., the platform was nearly empty. A teenager asleep on a bench, an old woman clutching grocery bags, a man in construction boots staring at the tracks. Mara stood near one of the pillars, scrolling through her phone. That was when she noticed nobody was speaking. Not unusual silence, heavy silence, the kind that feels deliberate. She glanced up. The construction worker was staring toward the tunnel, not casually, not absent-mindedly, completely frozen. Mara followed his gaze. At first she saw nothing. Then something moved in the darkness beyond the tracks. A figure, standing just outside the reach of the platform lights. Tall, thin, motionless, wearing what looked like an old green transit uniform. Her stomach tightened. Even from that distance, she could tell something was wrong with its face. The skin reflected light strangely. Wet, smooth, green. And it was smiling. Not a human smile. Too wide, too patient. Like it had been standing there a very long time. Mara looked around. Nobody reacted. The teenager kept pretending to sleep. The old woman stared at the floor. The construction worker breathed through his mouth in short, terrified bursts. Nobody wanted to acknowledge it. The thing across the track slowly tilted its head, then raised one long green hand and waved. The lights flickered. For half a second, the station went dark. When the lights returned, the figure stood closer. Now it was on the opposite platform. Mara hadn't seen it move. Her pulse exploded. Nobody else reacted. Nobody. The thing smiled wider. Mara suddenly understood the real horror. Everyone here had seen this before, and everyone had learned the same rule. Don't let them know you can see them. A train roared in the distance. The green man's smile twitched. Its eyes locked onto Mara, and in that instant she realized she'd made a mistake. She had looked directly at it. The train screamed into the station. Wind blasted through the platform. Passengers poured out. The green man vanished. Mara stumbled into the nearest car with her heart pounding so hard it hurt. Nobody inside the train looked at her. Nobody spoke. Then she noticed something. Every single passenger was damp. Not rain-soaked. Wet. Like they had climbed out of deep water. And at the far end of the car, a man in a green suit smiled at her over the heads of the passengers. The dreams started 3 nights later. At first they were simple. Subway tunnels, flooded stations, green figures standing underwater with their eyes open. Then the dreams changed. Mara began hearing voices. Hundreds of them, whispering from beneath the city. Not words, invitations. Every morning she woke with the taste of seawater in her mouth. Every morning her apartment smelled faintly of mildew. Then came the knocking. 3 knocks. Always at 3:14 a.m. Never loud. Polite. Patient. The first night she ignored it. The second night she checked the peephole. Nothing. The third night she opened the door. The hallway was empty, except for wet footprints. Green footprints leading into her apartment. Mara stopped sleeping. She became obsessed. Forums, police reports, archived news articles, transit authority records. The deeper she dug, the stranger things became. Disappearances around Belmere North stretched back decades, always clustered around periods of heavy rainfall, always involving witnesses who claimed to see men with green skin. Then Mara found an article from 1971. A tunnel collapsed beneath the city. 32 transit workers trapped underground during a flash flood. Bodies never recovered. The accompanying photograph showed a line of exhausted workers standing outside the tunnel entrance. Every one of them wore dark green uniforms. Mara stared at the image for a long time. One worker near the back of the group looked directly into the camera, smiling. His skin looked darker than the others, not from shadow, green. Her laptop suddenly shut off. The apartment lights flickered. Then came the knocking. 3 soft knocks, 3:14 a.m. Mara froze. Another knock, then another. A voice spoke softly from the hallway.
"We saw you seeing us."
Mara's blood turned cold. The voice sounded wet, like someone speaking underwater.
"We don't like being ignored."
She backed away from the door. The voice continued.
"So many people pretend. They stare at the floor. They refuse to answer. But you looked.
Silence. Then,
You acknowledged us."
something moved outside. Not footsteps, more like bodies dragging slowly across carpet. Mara grabbed a kitchen knife. Her phone had no signal. The apartment lights dimmed until the entire room glowed sickly green. Then came dozens of voices together.
"We've been beneath your city for a very long time."
The walls groaned. Water leaked from beneath the baseboards.
"And now,"
A smile appeared through the peephole. Green skin, too many teeth, one enormous, unblinking eye.
"you can finally see us."
The doorknob began to turn. Mara ran. Down 23 flights of stairs, out into rain-choked streets, into the sleepless glow of the city. But the city looked wrong now. Everywhere she looked, she saw them. Green faces watching from taxi windows, green hands gripping subway rails, green smiles reflected in storefront glass. And no one else seemed to notice. Or maybe they did. Maybe everyone in Belmere had learned the same survival instinct. Pretend. Pretend you don't see them. Pretend they aren't multiplying. Pretend they aren't getting closer. Mara stumbled into an all-night diner packed with exhausted commuters. Safe, bright, human. She rushed to the counter. "I need help," she whispered. The waitress looked up slowly and smiled, green skin beneath fluorescent lights. "Of course you do," she said softly. Around the diner, every customer stopped eating, stopped moving, and turned toward Mara together, all smiling, all green. The official story claimed the flooding at Belmere North killed 12 people. That was the number released to the press. The real number was never confirmed. Some survivors said the station flooded too quickly. Others claimed people walked willingly into the tunnels before the water rose. Transit records from that night disappeared. Security footage vanished. The station reopened 6 months later. Commuters returned. Life moved on. That's what cities do. But some late-night passengers still report strange things. Wet footprints leading across empty platforms. Voices echoing from flooded tunnels. Figures in green uniforms standing beyond the tracks, always smiling. And every now and then, someone makes the mistake of looking directly at them. Those people usually disappear within the week, but not always. Sometimes they come back. Different, quieter, patient. Standing perfectly still on crowded subway platforms. Watching, smiling, waiting for someone else to acknowledge them. Waiting for someone else to see. And if you ever find yourself alone in a subway station late at night, if you notice someone standing just beyond the lights, if their skin looks wrong in a way your brain struggles to understand, don't stare. Don't wave back. And whatever you do, don't let the green men know you can see them.